So hello everyone, in this video we'll be understanding about while loop in practical manner. So let's understand it. So while loop is our first loop that we'll be understanding. So let's say I have this variable and it is initialized to 0. Let's say without loop, how will I do this task? The task is that I want to print 10 times from 0 to 10. So I want to print the numbers or the counting from 0 to 10, let's say. So how can I do that? So it is very simple. I have to just write one log here, and in which I can write 1 in the first console log. Similarly, I can repeat this console log multiple times. So you got the point, right? So I have to write it multiple times to get the number from 0 to, or let's say 1 to 10. That's the case. I've just written it till 7, but you got the point, right? If I see the console now, we have the countings, right? But the problem is that we are repeating the same block of code again and again and just changing the value. So we are using the same console.log statement multiple times. This is one way of repetition that we should avoid. We should not repeat the same block of code multiple times. Instead, we can use loops for that. So if you want to execute a same block of code multiple times, then we can use loops for that. So that's why we'll be using or doing this thing by just console logging multiple times or writing it multiple times. We'll be using loop. So by using that way, our code will be a little bit shorter. So let's create a variable that will be logging in each iteration. So let's initialize it by 1, and I can just write while I is less than or equal to 10. Why I added equal to as well? Because I want the value of 10 as well. That's why. Now I can console log the value of I. So actually I'm doing the same thing, but instead I can specify, let's say I want to print 100 times. So I can use 100 here. So the like the numbers will be from 1 to 100. So that will be console logged. So that this way you can actually print how many times you want. It is in your control. So any number of times you can increase, or like you can execute a same block of code multiple times or any number of times that you want. Now I want to increment the value as well, otherwise our loop will always be on 1 and never be incremented to 2. So that's why in after printing the value of I will be incrementing the previous value of I by 1. That I can do with the help of this way as well. So this is one way of incrementing the value. I can also do this by adding this incremental operator as well. So this post increment operator. So this is the thing. Let's save it. Now you can see the counting will be from 1 to 100. You can see it is counting from 1 to 100. So we can control this kind of approach, right? So we can decrease that number to 10. So if I want the number from 1 to 10, that I can do. You can see this is the thing. So this is while loop actually, and we can control it in any manner. Let's say if I don't add any I plus plus, so it will be an infinite loop. Now you can see it is printing, it is still printing. So it is infinite loop, which doesn't stop at any position because it will be always be less than equal to 10 if I don't increment the value. That's why it is necessary to increment that. Or like after some iteration, it should stop. So the while loop should stop. It should not be an infinite loop because that wastes our memory. uh, let it be close. Let me just input or start it one more time, because that was an infinite loop, so it is hard to stop that because it always runs. That's why. So now it will be good to go. You can see it doesn't matter what statement you log here. It can be a big chunk of code or a big code. It can be any function call or anything you can execute here. But make sure the condition should false after some iteration. Otherwise, it becomes an infinite loop. So this is while loop actually. To repeat a certain block of code, we use this while loop. In the next video, we'll be understanding about do while loop. So let's meet in the next video. Thank you for watching.